Everybody, and welcome to today's VC Task Force Gary's Picks for Investors and Startups event. My name is Joel Rosenberg, Director of Business Development for VC Task Force. VC Task Force is an organization where the venture community comes together to address critical issues and host workshops and other events for the benefit of the venture and entrepreneurial communities. You may ask questions during the event, and time permitting, they will be answered live after today's interview. It is my pleasure to welcome Gary's Picks host, Gary Fowler. Gary is CEO and co-founder of GSD Venture Studios, an award-winning growth stage AI venture studio. Gary is also co-founder of the award-winning AI startup, Yva.ai, as well as the investment firm, DY Investments. Today, Gary will be interviewing special guest, Aleks Farseev, CEO of Somin.ai, the performance ad optimization platform driven by Longtail targeting and AI. Aleks is an entrepreneur and international keynote speaker. Known as an expert in digital marketing and AI, Aleks has co-authored over 30 scientific publications in international peer-reviewed journals and conferences. Aleks holds a full research professor position at ITMO University, is a resident lecturer at AI Academy for Marketers, and also has been a keynote speaker at multiple top scientific and global marketing conferences, including WSSS, CLEF, Mars, and Exabytes Marketing Fest. As an executive member, Aleks is involved in various advisory boards and communities, including SG Tech in Singapore, GSD Venture Studios located in the US, and Go Global World Community. Take it away, Gary.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it. And thanks, June. It's great to be here today and appreciate VC Task Force supporting Gary's Picks. So, Aleks, great to see you today. So, Aleks, here we are. You're in Singapore. You just said it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I hope you can stay awake. I know it's early or late, depending on how you look at it, but it's great to have you here today. So, tell me a little bit about yourself, and then I want to talk about Maya, because I'm really intrigued. So tell us a little bit about your background in terms of, you got your PhD in Singapore. You're originally from where? St. Petersburg, Russia. What city originally are you from?
Oh yeah, from St. Petersburg.
So what's the journey like, right? Here you are in Singapore. How did you go from St. Petersburg, which is the capital of some of the best technologists in the world, to Singapore? How did that happen?
Actually, all my life I was trying to do something entrepreneurial. So I was, selling accordions all my childhood from the age of 10.
Accordions?
Accordions, yeah. I was.
Were you singing too? Were you singing songs too, or no?
I was performing. I was selling that, and I was just buying accordions and selling by myself. So like a good practice for a kid. But then, but then I went to university, and actually I became a programmer. And then I found a startup with my friends, and we even raised some money. But then we figured out that none of us really know how does AI works. And then we decided to put it on pause. So he went to be CDO in one of the Chinese startups. And, I decided to pick up some internship somewhere in the world just to learn how does AI works actually. Because programmers, they're not data scientists, right? They're different. Right. So I went to Singapore, and I found that there's a very strong research group there called Laban Media Research, Next Research Center. And I was honored to be accepted there as a PhD student. And then I just quit my programming job, and I went to do my PhD in social media analytics. So basically how to dig the social media data and to figure out what is the personality traits of the authors of this data, how do they behave, what the people are interested in. Mm-hmm. And then during that time, I was lucky to follow my professor in lots of business trips that he organized with his 2 startups. One called Visa and another called Six Estates, late stage startups in Singapore. So then I discovered lots of industry gaps related to related to marketing, related to digital advertising. And then after PhD, I had this experience. I had understanding of the industry. I had all technology in hand. So it was very clear what I'm going to do. So that I build a company that optimize digital ads via AI through the SaaS platform. So that's like a short story.
And what made you decide on Singapore? From you're in St. Petersburg, is this weather or is it the environment? What made you decide to land in Singapore? How did that work? That's interesting.
Yeah, I went to my supervisor in Russia, and I wanted to sign docs to actually travel to be exchange student in Finland. And then he told me, you know, Finland is not cool. Singapore is cool. Why don't you go to Singapore? I said, okay, fine.
So it's that easy. That's great.
But
you were in Finland too for a while, because I saw that you had some in your CV. I saw some.
Yeah, I actually did Finland as well, but that was for fun already. Singapore,
I see. Okay.
Core activity, core place where I live. I stay here for 9 years already.
So tell us a little bit. You know, the audience is going to be really interested in Maya. You know, I'm intrigued about Maya, and I've been talking about it a lot through different events that where I'm doing presentations talking about Somin.ai. Tell us a little bit. I mean, because for me, having a virtual person that becomes a social media influencer is an incredible thing. I mean, you look at it and taking how did that whole idea of Maya come about?
So Maya is actually first AI-generated virtual influencer that has been created by Somin.ai and Ensemble World and the APG Media brands in Asia. And the whole thing started from understanding that, you know, there is no such blogger who can be really appealing and close to many markets. So for the multinational brands, like Puma, particularly, that the Maya was created for Puma, right? So for Puma in 7 Asia Pacific markets, it's very hard to find somebody who is not like damn expensive, but at the same time can be very efficient for all these markets. Right. So they decided, okay, why don't you know, we come up with some new influencer, somebody completely new to promote the product, promote the brand, etc. And then there was a trend, and it's still a trend in the world. There's a lot of virtual influencers, but the problem of virtual influencers is that they all look the same. They are quite, you know, robotic, and they not very close per se to people. So that brand also wanted to create somebody.
Oh, like artificial, too artificial.
Yeah, well, yeah, they are artificial. Yeah. So brand wanted to create somebody that would be maybe a little bit more like what people like, and then they start research for solutions, and then found us, and they found APG, and then we brainstormed together and figure out, rather than trying to, you know, rely on the guesswork and trying to figure out what people like in Southeast Asia, why don't we base our influencer on loads of data, like a massive amounts of data. So that we collected hundreds of thousands profiles of influencers that are very, very engaging with respect to the lifestyle brands like Puma, and then we train a model actually to generate something like you know, like a granddaughter of all these 100,000 of people.
Oh my God, that's great! That's
so you look like all of them.
That's incredible.
And then she got maybe about few hundred of version of her, so that the client have chosen what they like, and then it become Maya. So she now meet real people, live pretty much normal life in Instagram, but actually she's not just virtual.
Wait a minute, she lives a normal life?
Virtual.
A normal virtual life. What kind of things does she do you would consider normal?
She goes to pubs, she hang out with friends, with other influencers. You can see her in the pictures. She promotes some Puma products. Um, she has some videos shooted about her, about her life. She takes selfies, write
Oh
down
my God,
write down some thoughts about what she's seeing today.
that's
But
great. That,
and
and so do people not know that she's not real? Do you ever have people think that she's real?
we decided to make it very clear that she is virtual from the very beginning.
Mhm.
And we kind of had a kind of challenge in the beginning because algorithms have generated her look so real, so that Puma actually asked to make her a little bit less real, so that people at least can distinguish that she is not a real human. So we had to, further marry her with a couple of computer game heroes,
Yeah.
a bit train neural network more, so that she start look a little bit like AI-ish and artificial, because original version was too real. It was looking like a human, and it was very easy to, to confuse. That's the power of modern, these deep fake AI technologies that can generate very realistic paintings, humans,
That's
marketing
amazing. So,
content.
so they told you they don't want her to be as real, so make her look a little fake.
Correct.
Oh, that's amazing. I think it would be great to have her real. I mean, I think she looks real now, by the way. Right? I mean, like pretty real.
Uh, she is real. She actually also got a couple of facial features of those famous other influencers, because the agency wanted to also correlate to other influencers that existed before.
Hmm.
But the thing is that I think the key here is that you can understand a very large audience of a brands of a competitor in any industry. You can really understand what people like, and then you don't need to rely on guesswork. You can train neural network that will produce the content that really appeals to people. And I think this is the future for virtual influencers, for marketing content, for ads people will be running in the future. It's very strange to ask humans set up this large scale systems like Facebook with billion of parameters by themselves. You need another AI to do it, and that's what we are building in our company.
Wow. So tell us a little bit about Somin. So we talked about Maya a little bit, but tell the audience a little bit about Somin and what you're trying to accomplish and what the goals are, over the next year and the next 2 years. So if you could give a description of where that is and where you want to go with it.
In this year, in 2020, it's estimated about 16 to 20 billion USD was wasted because humans were trying to, set up ads and they did it wrongly, just because they
How much is it? What's it
about
estimated?
16 to 20 billion dollars. Yeah,
How much?
16 to 20 billion dollars.
$1 billion? Hear that,
Yeah,
16
yeah,
to 20
of
billion.
ad spend
That's incredible.
in
That's
Facebook,
incredible.
and that's because humans they are very limited. They are very good in creativity.
Hmm.
They're very good in strategy, in branding, everything, but not with doing routine tasks. And of course, running ads is not the best way to use humans' skills, right? So
Right, right.
that much money gets wasted and grows every year, pretty much, right? So it's a lot of opportunity missed. Uh, if last time we go to TV and we just need to arrange with the TV channel when to show the advertisement, and then we have a fixed price. Now we have to deal with thousands of parameters and billions of transactions every second. And of course, to handle that, you need a proper technology. So we build this technology with all our knowledge in digital marketing and in
Mhm.
AI. We build a platform that runs the so-called long-tail targeting and
Mhm.
optimization, as well as A/B test creatives, to make sure that the right people receive the ads in the right time with the right creative. And those people who are not relevant, or those ads that are not relevant, we don't spend budget.
The right ad at the right time with the right creatives. Now
And
tell
we don't
everybody
spend
what the
budget.
long tail tiger team is, just so everybody understands.
Uh, so that's a bit technical, but in a sense, in a real life, there's a very few things that happen often and exactly the same way. And
Mhm.
that's a lot of things that are happening not often, and they're slightly different one from another. Let's say targeting, right? If you are
Right.
if you are in a fast food industry, what marketers usually doing, they go in Facebook and they target it based on food, fast food, maybe burger, maybe pizza, right?
Yeah.
And then the funny thing that other thousands of other marketers who are competing with these guys will go target the same way. They will all reach the same people, and then they will compete between each other.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then they'll boost the price, and actually not necessarily
Well,
will
'cause
reach.
prices go down depending on the market. Some markets like you to charge more, but most of the time you start to compete and driving the prices down. The margins go down.
And not necessarily reaching the right people, because those
Mm.
guys who get labeled as pizza interested people in the Google or Facebook, they see so much pizza ads so that they hate them already. They're not responsive to them anymore, right?
Right.
So long tail targeting is whether we can use other keywords, other ways to reach same or similar people to
Mhm.
who our ads are relevant, but yet nobody else can fit for them.
Right.
And the only problem is how to discover this long tail targeting, how to optimize ads and make sure that you control all those tens
I'm
of
sure
thousands.
everybody's listening right now because this is a good segue into how do you do it?
So to do that, you need to have a proper tech that can analyze the audiences, that can figure out what they're talking about, what they're interested in, how they behave, and then apply that knowledge into, let's say, Facebook or Google, and then make sure that every time you spend every single dollar on marketing, that dollars brings you conversion, brings you clicks, engagements, wherever your objective is, and not wasted. And this is another human limitation comes in, right? You cannot look at 10,000 keywords every half an hour, but AI
Right.
can. And this is what is better. It's actually very simple. It's all about scale and the size. AI must deal with AI. You don't want humans deal with AI. It wouldn't work, and it doesn't particularly.
So how much of an increase for the audience out there? We have VCs watching my show. We've got corporations watching shows, startups. How much does it really add? So if you say in terms of a particular campaign, if they spent 10,000, I guess how much would it be wasted of the $10,000 today? And where does that put you? What do they get? What's the benefit to a company, a monetary benefit, percent of, you know, more effectiveness? What is it?
Depending on the industry, we promise guaranteed performance uplift from 20% to up to 10 times.
10
And
times. So hear that, everybody. 20% to 10x, right? You
yeah,
heard it.
you don't need to pay us if you don't do it, and we don't care what you had before us. Your agency, your in-house team, we are very confident. So we are willing to guarantee the performance just because we know how it works, and we build technologies that can manipulate all these ads, control these ads in a way that they are the most efficient.
Oh, excellent, excellent. And what are you going to do? So what's the next year hold for you? Where are you going to go? Where are you planning on growing? What are you planning on doing? Where's the company going to go?
So we are in 16 markets now. It's pretty much whole Asia, except for China, because China has different social networks and different channels, like a whole new different ball game. But otherwise, we are in all Asia. We are in Russia. We are entering Europe. We are actively entering USA right now, and in a few years, we're gonna be definitely more than 100 million valuation company. And of course, we're going to become unicorn soon, right? As everybody in our space.
Yeah, exactly. You got to focus on it. And what about Silicon Valley? Do you have any plans for Silicon Valley?
But that's the heart, right? Even when I was a researcher, I always enjoy coming in for conferences in the valley, and you smell this atmosphere, you feel it every day in San Francisco, in the valley, exactly in the small cities there. So, but if you're talking about business-wise, that is the heart of technology development. So if you want to meet right people, you have to be there, right?
Exactly.
Therefore, we are actively planning to establish uh, bigger presence there, and we already have partners who provide us office space in Silicon Valley. So we actually have a US address, and you can reach us there already. So we are very serious about that.
And how about, are you going to do any fundraising? What's your plans for fundraising?
We have we are like we are closing around now. This one is probably pre-equity round. So we closing now. We get lead VC, we get a follower VC. We have pitched in a couple of VC and angel networks in the US as well and in Asia. So we're still looking for several followers, and I'm happy to explain the details if you reach to me. But overall, we're gonna finish this round, and then we plan to raise Series A in the US already.
Yeah, you know, the one thing about the US, I got to tell you, it's the only place in the world that, I mean, I go to Starbucks on Saturday morning. I mean, I've seen Tim Cook in the Starbucks. I go to the Chinese restaurant, who's in there, Mark Zuckerberg, and open to talk. It's just, it is an incredible magic place, and it is a port to the rest of the world.
So Mark doesn't have enough Chinese food at home, is it?
I mean, I saw him there with his wife. I personally saw him there. I mean, I don't know what to say. It was amazing. And he went, and I was talking to him too. So there's a great opportunity. And, you know, this is, June is like the godmother of venture capital for the Valley. So you're in the right place at the right time, getting the word out. So how can people get a hold of you? What's the best way for folks to get a hold of you? In terms of what's your email address so they could write to you? If they're VCs that are out here, do you have any contact information where they can get a hold of you? Because I'm sure they'd be interested.
Yeah, actually, I'm active pretty much everywhere in all those networks. And if you talk about my email address, you can find it on our website. It's ask@somin.ai. It will reach out to me, or you can just use my Russian nickname, SASHA@somin.ai, Sasha@somin.ai. That's my email address.
That's excellent. So, Aleks, you've gone down through and to be a startup entrepreneur. I have thousands of startup entrepreneurs that watch this show and VCs. What are some of the points in terms of advice that you could give, you know, fellow startuppers? What would you say? So if you say three things, what are the most important that have really helped you directly?
I need to think about that, right?
Yeah, I mean, you go down through, some people say having a great team. Some people say having a great marketing experience. You know, they have different ideas about it. And so if we look at it, you know, worldwide, some of the, you know, one of the things is do your customer development. So customer development, go out and make sure that people are willing to buy it, because sometimes people over-engineer products, right? This is from Bob Dorff and Steve Blank. I know when I did Yva with David Yang, we would walk down the streets in Palo Alto and interview people. Hey, what do you think about this? Now imagine David Yang, the founder of Abby, as my partner, walking down and interviewing people with an iPhone and a little stand to talk to them about technology. So
I'm not surprised. Actually, David, he is that type of guy. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised than David doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. We did it together, actually, walking down the street.
Yeah, you know, being Forbes 30 in Russia, he is still like that, and I wouldn't be surprised. But, you know, I think I know what I would recommend. I think for the young startups, especially technological startups like those in deep tech space, I would recommend them to, you know, shut their arrogance up in the very beginning, and don't build anything before they sell it. And that's exactly about.
Exactly. You're exactly right? Because what happens if people overbuild it and there's nothing to sell, or it's so overbuilt they blow all their money and use absolute great point. Fantastic. So that's it from my perspective. I appreciate you taking your time out of your busy schedule. Appreciate getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning to join my show here. I'd like to thank everybody from VC Task Force for making Gary's Picks possible. June and Joel, thank you for all the support you've given. Startuppers, hey, listen, this is a great time. The digital transformation is upon us. Investors are still looking to invest. They've got responsibilities that they have in terms of their funds, to deploy their funds. So startups, go get them, get stuff done. You can reach me, Gary at gsdvs.com. I'd love to hear from you. And thanks a lot. And stay tuned. We'll be back in another 2 weeks. Joel?
Great. Thanks again very much, Gary. Aleks, really excellent interview, and really appreciate your sharing the insights of what you're doing there. It's very exciting, and I think that.
Thanks for inviting.
Oh, of course, absolutely. Again, as Gary mentioned, we'll see everybody back here in 2 weeks for our next special guest, and we'll see you then. Everybody have a wonderful Thanksgiving if you're based here in the U.S. Otherwise, have a great week, and we'll talk to you later. Take care now.
Thank you, everybody.